The winter snow can, of course, bring us much needed moisture, or it can be that really white, fluffy stuff that is easy to scoop, doesn't bring us any moisture. The downside of snow coupled with really, really cold temperatures can be devastating on our plant material. And when we have a lot of snow that piles up deeply, we can see a lot of damage later in the spring. These are some of the items you're going to have to look for and watch for in your landscape. First off, starting with what exactly is under that snow pile. We've seen lots of places where the evergreen shrubs, the conifers, the small little deciduous plants, and the perennials have simply disappeared. Who knows whether they're actually still under there? If you've piled that snow on top over and over and over again, the weight, of course, can cause the branches to break. So it's insulating, but it's also potentially causing some of that damage. In particular, we're going to look for critter damage this year. So that insulating blanket also allows those critters to come underneath the snow unseen, attack those trees and shrubs, and cause significant damage. You might see an awful lot of that this year as well if you happen to feed the birds who are in desperate need of the seeds. Seeds on top, critter underneath, come up, grab a seed, go down, and then continue to do all their damage. The other thing that we're probably going to see is rabbits are going to be standing on top of that snow, chewing up much higher than potentially your screen was or your device that you're using to keep those rabbits out. We also are seeing a lot of very, very brittle twigs. And this has more to do with the cold, obviously, than the snow, since trees and a lot of our trees are not small enough to be insulated by that snow. Redbud, as an example, is a dead bud. This is all twig that is simply snapping in my hand. We're seeing that even on a lot of our other natives. There's still some green tissue associated with it, but we are likely to see an awful lot of damage to the flower buds on many of our trees and shrubs, and that's going to be particularly true of the ones that are maybe on the edge of the hardiness zone to begin with, simply could not withstand this abrupt, extremely cold temperatures that are so long lasting, even with the snow itself insulating the roots. So the long and the short of it is, make sure you understand what's under those snow piles, be ready to look for damage that might be breakage, damage that might have happened because of the critters underneath the snow, maybe those de-icers, which of course we've talked about before on the show, and then be aware that we may not have the flowering or the fruit crop that we would really like to have in our landscape this year.